Hello and welcome to ScotiaLIVE. I'm your host, Talia, and today we're diving into the business blueprint, what every SME needs to know. So joining us today, I have Shanique Ellington, Managing Director for Le Champ Cosmetics, Pamela Douglas, Senior Manager for Small Business at Scotiabank, and Sarika McGaw-Smith, CEO of McGaw and Company. And I should also let you know that there is a lot to share, and we will be starting off with some important, insightful information on the topic. And we do invite you to send in those questions, and we will try our very best to address them as well. And we will be taking questions from our audiences on Zoom and or Instagram Live. So please, as I said, send in those questions, and we will try our very best to address them as well. So let's get right into it. And I want to start with Sarika. And we're going to start at the beginning. What sparked your interest and, encouraged you to start your own business?
Thank you, Talia, and good afternoon, viewers. So my business is in the field of accounting. It was in high school that I fell in love with accounting, and I decided that I also wanted to start my business coming from a line of entrepreneurs. My dad, my mom, my grandparents were all entrepreneurs. So it was then that I decided to gain the necessary skills, experience, and qualification to be able to offer my clients the services that they want.
Okay, sounds very simple, Sarika.
It is.
I'm sure as we go along, you're going to give us a little bit more information
Absolutely.
as to, what it is that you really did to start your business. All right, let me start with you, Shanique. How about you?
So Le Champ Cosmetics was really a hobby that grew into my now full-time profession. So, unlike Sarika, it was not planned. It came in the wake of the COVID pandemic. And so because you have the passion and the drive as an entrepreneur, it's an innate spirit inside of you. Something coming out as a hobby, you're going to put your all into it. And fast forward 5 years after the COVID pandemic, we are now a fully registered incorporation with, a full team of individuals, and it is no longer a hobby or can even be considered a hobby. It is a full-time career and my passion.
That's interesting. You said there was no plan.
None.
You were just figuring it out as you go.
Yes.
Tell me, where did you get that fire from to figure it out as you go? Because a lot of persons are, a little bit fearful of that. So, how did you manage to figure it out?
So, to be honest, I've always loved makeup. I've always been passionate about it. I was that person that went to school, university, with a full face of makeup. And so when I started the brand, my friends and family, they weren't surprised because it's something that I genuinely loved. Mm-hmm. And the name came from, my nickname in university. So when I married my passion, married this idea of doing a hobby during the downtime in COVID, I ultimately created or birthed this company. So there was no plan, and I am 100% in it because it's me. A lot of the things about the company, it comes from my own personality. I have sensitive skin, so I wanted it to be a vegan brand.
Okay.
I love business management, so I am in, hands-on in everything, very in-depth with everything relating to the business. And so, now being a 5-year-old company, the bar that we've set from year one has far gone beyond what we would have imagined.
And now you have a business plan.
Yes, we do, and a full structure now. So we've learned and we've made a lot of mistakes, but thanks to a lot of resources that we've leaned on over the years, including Scotiabank, we are now more equipped and, we move with a little bit more confidence as a business.
Okay. Sarika, tell me a little bit about your story because, you come from a family of entrepreneurs. So did you have a plan or were you just going with the flow?
To tell you the truth, Talia, yes, I know accounts. Yes, I know that is my passion. This is what I want to bring to small businesses. But the whole idea of building a company, running a company, operating a company was very challenging because, of course, I didn't have that fundamental skill to be able to operate that. So yes, the service that I want to offer was planned, but how to get to offering that services and building this 14-year-old company now was not something that was structured or planned along the way. I too had to learn as I go along. As an accountant, marketing is not my strong point. So I had to learn marketing. I had to learn human resource to deal with staff and employees. So these are the things that came along ultimately.
Yes, you actually touched on the next question I was going to ask. You know, what were some of the things that you wish you knew when you started out versus, you know, what you actually know now? And you mentioned marketing.
Yeah, marketing,
human
human
resources.
resource. And also learn, as I said, as a high schooler, the passion is there. Yes, I want to own my own business, be my own boss. And that is not always the case, because you are ultimately going to be the boss of somebody else who are your clients. So learning the other areas of the business, I had to learn that
As well.
because, as they said, you become the head cook and bucket wash.
Yeah.
So you have to learn every area so that the business can provide the service, please your client. Customer service, of course, is key. You have to learn everything centering the whole business operation.
And when you learn everything, that's how you grow over time.
Absolutely.
I mean, Shanique, from moving from no plan to actually having a business plan, you know, you said you're 5 years in now?
We're 5 years.
Yes. What's one thing or a few things then that you wish that you knew then that you know now?
Okay, one of the most important things is understanding that you don't know everything.
Right, that's right.
And you must, in some way, feel comfortable asking for help, leaning on the resources of those who are professionals in the industry, which is why I lean on accountants to handle my finances, because as Sirika alluded to, it's important to have financial literacy. And I can admit, when I started out, I did have some exposure to it, but not to the extent that I needed to truly grow this business. And so I have an in-house accountant that handles the finances. I know it's important, and so because I know that's a weakness of mine, I ensure that I have a professional handle it for our business.
As well, which brings me to, you know, Pamela. Hi, Pamela.
Hi.
You know, what are some of the things that persons need to ensure that they have in order when it is that they're coming to Scotiabank to get some kind of support when they're an SME?
Okay, so whether it's in your genes, whether it's a hobby that is converted to a business, or whether it's just a aha moment and you decided that you're going to start a business, the first thing that you need to do is to determine or decide what is the structure of the business. Is it going to be a sole proprietor? Are you going to be a sole proprietor? Is it going to be a partnership? Is it going to be a limited liability company? So when you have done that, you need to register the business. You also need to separate your personal funds from your business funds, so business income. So how are you going to do that? You need to open a business account. At Scotiabank, we offer checking accounts and savings accounts, and we offer them in different currencies. So we have your USD, you have your Jamaican dollar, you have your euro, and you have your Canadian. We also provide online banking that you can use to track your deposits, do transfers, pay your staff, and do wire transfers. So with that in place, we also provide like a point of sale. So if your business like Sirika, your clients come in, the point of sale, they swipe the card and it goes directly into your account. So it's actually assisting managing your cash flow.
Okay.
It is also very important that you have a system in place to track your income, your expenses, and to manage your cash flow. So whether it's an app, whether it's a QuickBook or something like that, you need to have that in place. So when you come to Scotiabank, we sit with you, we get to know what is your business model, and we provide guidance. So the first step is actually opening an account and having access to our online banking facility.
Okay, which actually leads me, you know, to our next area, funding. And let's talk money a little bit. How did you fund your business when you just started out? Sarika, I see the face going, you're like, funding, you know?
All right, so funding wasn't a big issue for me because it's services that I offer.
Okay.
Nonetheless, I started the business not having a 9 to 5, so I had to lean on my husband a bit to pay the bills and stuff. However, funding became important a couple years later when I realized that my clients weren't paying on time, so I needed to, of course, pay employees and pay bills. So I always brag about my business banker, yes, which is at Scotiabank, of course. I reach out to him and I explain the situation to him. So listen, I have this bag of money that I just can't collect. I have my bills piling up. I have my employees that I need to pay. What can you do for me?
Right.
So he mentioned that I could apply for a line of credit. And I said, what do I need to do? I mean, tell me what I need to do, man, and we will just get the things them, right? So he outlined exactly the documents that I needed to get in, and I send in all of those. And I was able to get an overdraft facility, which bridged the gap between collecting from clients and paying my bills. And I was able to continue the business until I'm at a situation right now, still have the line of credit, but I don't use it as often
Yes.
as back then.
Yes. Shanique, tell me a little bit about your story now. Starting off, was it savings? Did you use a loan? Was it just, some money from a side hustle? How did you fund your business?
So remember, it started out as a hobby, so there was no business in mind. I didn't even register the entity as an LLC. So it was a sole proprietorship. And at that point in time, I had just completed paying off my car loan. So I got some advice from someone at the bank that said, well, you can bounce with the car a little bit, seeing that the payments are done, or this is a good opportunity. You're not working right now because it's COVID downtime. Why not sell it and invest it in something? And I said, you know what? I'm going to do that because it was such an uncertain time.
Right.
And so I sold the vehicle and decided I'm going to use half of it to put away in savings and investment, and I'm going to use the other half to fund my hobby.
Wow.
Which was Le Charme Cosmetics at the time. And so, it became a necessity that I needed to open a business account to create this official business now. And having that influx or that injection of capital from selling the vehicle is what I used to fuel the growth of Le Charme Cosmetics.
Now, Pamela, what advice would you give to SMEs seeking some funding from Scotiabank?
Okay, at Scotiabank, a startup, mostly it's family or your own savings. So family, friends, and there are some grants available from IDB and maybe CDB. So that is for startups. So when you have established your business and you're ready to grow your business, you can come to us at Scotiabank. So you'd have opened your account, you'd have been passing all your income through your account. So that provides us with a history. You'd have established your system in place to track your income, your expenses. So you'd be able to provide us with your financial statements. So when you come to us, we sit with you. We try to determine what is the purpose of the loan. Okay, we need to look at you as the individual.
Yeah.
Because that is important, because we can't separate you from the business. So what kind of person are you? Are you someone who keep your commitment? Do you pay your bills? What about your credit history? Because that's, when we're looking at a loan for the business, we don't just look at you, at the business, we look at you, the individual. We look at the capacity of the business to pay, or the ability of the business to repay the loan. So we look at your income, we look at your profit, we look at your cash flow. And at the end of the day, we also look at what are you bringing to the business? Do you have any skin in the business? So what capital have you invested in the business? Additionally, collateral. That is something. We do provide unsecured loans, but over a certain amount.
Yes.
And depending on the purpose of the loan, you'll need to provide us with collateral. So sometimes we use the asset you're purchasing as collateral, but sometimes you need to provide us with additional security.
Okay.
I'd like to mention DBJ here. They have a credit guarantee program whereby if you're borrowing under $10 million, you can get, they guarantee up to 90% of that. And if you're borrowing over 10 and below 30, they provide 80% guarantee. For a fee, of course, 2% plus GCT per annum. So we also look at the conditions, as I said, the purpose of the loan, the market in which you're operating. So when you come in, no two businesses are alike, so we have the conversation with you. We're very client-focused at Scotiabank. So we sit with you, determine what is it that you need, and then see how best we can assist you. Yes.
Yes?
I can jump in just a bit. Pam mentioned some very valid points that somebody who is seeking a loan may want to get, but I want to add something from an accounting standpoint.
Sure.
Because I've had experiences of persons coming to us and want a loan. There are certain things that Scotia is looking for in order to be able to grant you that loan. And she mentioned financial statement. Now, I just want to let our viewers know that a financial statement is not something that can be derived from your bank statements. Because your bank statement, yes, will show income and withdrawals, but it doesn't itemize the expenses. So what we will encourage persons to do is to keep proper records. And this means tracking your, having an accounting system in place that can track your income. And also collecting everything that you purchase business-wise, that is receipts and invoices, so that when you come to us for a financial statement, we can use that information to do the financial statement that Scotia needs to give you the loan.
Yes, and I love that you touched on that point, tracking your finances. Would you say that you have any systems currently that you use to track your finances? Any you would recommend?
Of course. So we primarily use QuickBooks Online for our clients to track their income, expenses, do their bank reconciliation, and provide them with a report, whether it be profit and loss or a balance sheet at any case in point, whether monthly or annually. And that is what we use to draft the financial statements.
Okay. Shanique, how about you?
Yes, our website is fully integrated, and we have invested a lot of resources into ensuring that it is almost 360 in terms of managing the business. And so our website, it does not only e-commerce, but it also manages our inventory and does a lot of analytics as well as invoicing and quotations.
Okay, and this has managed to work for you?
Absolutely, and it's been working from day one. And because we've invested in that tool, it has given us the ability to see how much we have grown over the past 5 years, from the neonatal stage to now seeing a full mature, well, not mature, but seeing that growth curve over the 5 years. So it was a useful tool and something that I encourage business to invest in. It might seem like a lot upfront, but you never know how big or how much your business is going to grow over the next 5 or 10 years. So it's worth it.
And it provides you with the data that you need to analyze, to make better business decisions in your business.
Okay, moving forward.
Right.
If it is that you need to push here a little bit more, if you need
cut
to invest
back
here, or cut back here. Okay. If someone said to you, what's one characteristic a small business owner must have to succeed, what would you say to them?
Determination, motivation, and motivation don't come easily. You have to motivate yourself. You have to push yourself. Most days, sometimes you don't feel like it, but you because of your why, it is motivating enough for you to push forward.
Yes. How about you?
So I think an important characteristic that business owners, especially now in such a fast-paced world, need to have is accepting that you may not know everything, and it's okay to lean on professionals if you need help. And for me personally, I had a bit of exposure in numerous areas, in marketing, in quality management, in sales, in marketing. So there's an appreciation and an understanding for it, but it doesn't mean you are the best at it.
And I mean, Pamela, we are in a digital age and stage now. You know, has technology helped to make our life easier as a business owner? Would you say that from a bank's perspective?
Yes, it has. It has, because even doing your transactions online, your banking online, it has helped. And we are payment solutions. We assist our business owners with e-commerce. We assist them with like a virtual terminal. So what happened with a virtual terminal, we can send a link to your customer, and they can actually pay you online. So our payment options are actually online processes that can assist our small businesses.
Okay, and hosting services as
hosting
well?
services, yes, we do that. Yes.
Okay, explain a little bit to our viewers, you know, how that would help.
Well, the hosting, you have your website, and what we do is that we have a hosting page on your website, and your clients can actually go there and make those payments.
Okay, okay. And what are some of the financial options available?
At Scotiabank? Well, at Scotiabank, we offer a number of options, right? So let us say you have established your business and you're now ready to grow. You need assistance in purchasing inventory, purchasing raw material, assisting with your day-to-day expenses. We provide working capital loans or operating credit lines that you can actually use for that.
I know Sarika touched on the credit line as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, yes. So it's a revolving facility that you pay down and you only pay interest on what you use.
Okay.
So you want to purchase a motor vehicle loan. You want to purchase commercial real estate, because at the end of the day, you're now paying rent. Sometimes what you find is that the money that you're using to pay the rent, you can actually pay the mortgage for the property that you're purchasing. So we offer term loans to purchase assets. For our professionals, we have your healthcare professionals, your doctor, your dentist, your vets. We have accountants, pharmacists, attorneys, yes. For those, there are 11 professions that we actually, that is included in our Scotia professional plan. And we provide loans at higher limits, preferred rates, pricing, so you discounted rates and fees. So that is something that we offer to our professionals. We offer, under our Scotiabank Women Initiative, what we do, this program was launched in 2022. And what we do is try to empower women. And we provide access to capital, we provide education, and we also provide mentorship and advisory service.
Okay.
So under the access to financing pillar of Scotia Women Initiative, over a 3-year period, we have offered $6 billion in loans.
Wow.
And this is to women-owned. So if the business is 20% owned by a woman, or you have an executive or a director, you can access this facility. Interest rate 8%, and you can access up to $30 million on the small business side. So we have that in place. So these are some of the options that we have. So we focus on women, we focus on professionals or manufacturers. So we have loan facilities for everyone.
Okay, and how about the credit cards?
Oh, not to mention credit cards. We offer credit cards, and that is very important for small purchases, your marketing, your travel. And you can have up to 5 cards. Yes.
Okay.
In your business, you can have up to 5 cards, and we do offer rewards, so up to 150 miles per annum.
Right.
Yes.
And I know that Sarika, you benefited from the line of credit. Is there any other service or product that you've benefited from?
Yes. Magon Company currently have a credit card with Scotia as well, and we primarily use that credit card to pay our taxes, GCT and payroll taxes.
Okay. Okay, very, very beneficial to you and your company.
Definitely.
Shanique, how about you?
So we do have business accounts in US and GMD dollars, and we do utilize the cards to do purchases and transactions online, because that's a major part of our business. We have external suppliers in numerous countries, and so that's a very powerful tool that we have and we utilize in our business, in addition to the POS systems, something that you might not need from the get-go, but we have opened a storefront and it became more and more evident that we'll have to have a POS in the location, especially if we're doing, expos and off-site things. We want to be able to have that POS to capture the sales in the moment. And so we utilize that from Scotia.
As well.
Yes, I want to add something because I'm here for my business owners, okay?
Yes.
So business owners, don't be afraid to take advantage of the credit card. Credit card can be managed that you don't even pay any interest, but it is there and it's available to access. So don't be afraid to take advantage of the line of credit that it exists in the form of credit cards.
And you have seen where it has benefited your company
Absolutely.
Tremendously.
Absolutely.
In addition to that, though, a lot of persons, the online platform, they tend to love the online platform. Is it because it's just so easy to use, it's convenient, it's at the tip of your fingers? Yes. Tell me a little bit about how that has enhanced your business as well.
All right, so of course the online platform is very user-friendly, and the ease and convenience of it all. As I said, I can pay my staff transfers, I can pay my taxes using the credit card. I tell you what, I even have clients that have staff for which they engage us to pay their staff, and we use the Scotia platform to do that as well.
Because it's so easy and convenient. How about you, Shanique?
So the platform for me is important because when you're transitioning from sole proprietorship or you being the entity into now the entity being one on its own, if you compare the personal banking platform, it's very user-friendly and it's very clean, it's straight to the point. However, the business platform is very detailed.
Okay.
To the extent that, there's so much information on it as a business that you might not even need, but it's there in the event that you need it. And that's one of the reasons I love having it. The access to the information, it gives you more power to make the decisions
as well
as a business.
That brings me to my next question. How is Scotiabank supporting these small businesses? I know that you mentioned some stuff earlier on in our conversation, Pamela, but talk to me a little bit about, the Scotiabank Vision Achiever, for example, the BBO's business advice as well. Just tell us a little bit more about that in detail.
Okay. So what we realized is that a lot of business owners, they're good at what they do. But managing the business, that is where they have an issue. So at Scotiabank, we have recognized that, and we are very big on providing financial literacy for our small businesses. So our Scotian Vision Achiever program was started in 2011. And we have actually assisted over 350 small business owners. And these two ladies here, they were actually they were a part of the program. So the program is a 17-week program that is done in partnership with Action Coach and led by Marcia Woon-Choi, who's a certified coach. So what it does is these persons attend these sessions and they are trained in mentorship. There's mentorship. They are trained on managing your business, marketing, managing your finances. Yes, putting systems. Yes.
It took you right through the entire business, and one of the more important things you might remember too, is the business chassis. You remember that?
Yes. Definitely.
Going through the business chassis that we learned from the program, start to see your company from a bird's eye view.
Okay.
And so you're thinking of yourself no longer as in the company, but you're outside of the company and you're thinking about strategy now, as opposed to just making a sale. It is a lead that you're going to convert. Look on profit, and Yes. So having a program like the Vision Achiever program for me personally was very influential in how our business grew. Because you could have the knowledge, in book writing. Because we have exposure to, business in some way, shape, or form from school. However, being in a business now, it's a totally different thing, and you're able to apply the knowledge to what you're doing, and it makes it so much more valuable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sarika, tell us a little bit about your experience with the program.
Okay, so I was one of the winners for 2021. And being a part of that program has enhanced my business because it helps me to implement systems in my business and these systems ultimately will take me out of the business, so to speak, for the business to run on its own. So I must say that Scotia got it right with the Vision Achievers program. I also want to add to that because Scotia gave me the opportunity in 2023 to have the Scotia Compass. And this was our 6 weeks program that we went through to educate business owners on the financial aspect of their business. Shanique was also a part of it, so I had the opportunity to teach her.
Okay.
Yes, so Scotia do have these programs in place to help business owners to learn more about their businesses.
And just the management.
It's important to add, it's accessible. People might think, oh, how does Scotia choose who will be in the next cohort?
Yes.
You could be, just 2 years old in your business.
Right.
You are not, out of the scope. And I found in our cohort, there were businesses that were in existence for 10, 15 years, but I was only in existence for 2 years at a time, right? And I still benefited from it in that sense that it gave us the tools to see and operate in our business at the level of a 10-year-old business, right?
Yeah.
And this is a program that's free, which means it is a resource that's accessible at your fingertips. So I encourage everyone who's serious about their business to sign up for the Scotiabank Vision Achiever program.
Okay. And, have you ever had an experience after, having gone through the Scotiabank Vision Achievers program where you had, I would say, an aha moment where you said, oh, okay, I learned about this, right? Yeah. I am able to apply my knowledge now to ensure that I don't make a mistake here, but I will, of course, make a better decision, a better business decision to move forward. Have you ever had that experience after you've completed the program?
I think for the biggest part for me with that haha moment is getting my staff involved in the decision-making process of the company. So now what we do is my staff is heavily involved in the annual planning of the company, in the quarterly goals that we set quarterly. We meet and we discuss what they want to see the company achieve.
Okay.
And as a result of that, this is something that I learned from the SVA as well, is that when you get your staff involved and you make them understand how the business operates and what it needs to achieve its goal, they get involved. My staff are happily engaged in quarterly planning and goal setting and achieving goals as well.
Okay. I don't know, Shanique, have you ever had that aha moment?
Yes, it happens almost every day now because I now view a customer, an individual, much differently. You're so much more than a lead or just a sale in that moment. You'll have a customer that comes every month and they'll spend, $10,000-$15,000 on a service every month. I don't look on that customer as $15,000. You are a $200,000, you're a $500,000 customer, you understand? So I'm going to ensure that I treat you and accordingly, and you are appreciated. And it's not to say that someone who's a one-time purchase is not appreciated. It is to say that you recognize the value that each customer brings to your business.
Yeah.
And so you put in that extra effort to ensure that they feel valued.
As well.
Yeah.
And Pamela, a lot of persons, they're sitting on, they're listening, and they're possibly, yes, they're inspired, but they might just be afraid to approach Scotia with whatever documentation they might have. They might say, oh Lord, I go to the bank and they're going to stress me out and they're still not going to give me the loan. What would you say to that viewer now who is watching, who might be a little bit hesitant to come out to you, Pamela, just to get some assistance, with growing their business?
Well, our business bankers, they are there, and it's at Scotiabank with our small business, with all our customers, it's about a relationship. So what we try to do is to build a relationship with our clients, get to know our clients. When you come to us at Scotiabank, we sit with you and we get to know your business, get to know you. And after we have done our assessment, you might get through. But if in the event that you do not qualify or meet the requirements, what we do is that, okay, this is what you need to do. So in addition to provide financing, we provide advice. So we are accessible, as I said before, and there's no need to be fearful.
Yeah.
Come with what you have. If there's any additional information that is required, we can work together to ensure that we get the information and we'll work together. Because at the end of the day, we believe in small businesses. We believe that they are very important. When small business win, everybody win. And as Scotiabank, we are committed. So come on in, have a discussion with your business banking officer. Sharika did that, and you're happy with the outcome, right? So just come on in and have the discussion, and we'll assist you.
Do you find that there are more persons now interested in formalizing their businesses with the bank? You know, do you see that happening now?
Yes, because I was commenting to a business banking officer that I'm really surprised to see the number of business accounts that we're opening. And the interesting thing is that most of these persons are in their 20s. Right? We have persons, older persons coming in, but I'm really amazed that our young people, they don't like to work for other people. So what, they have an idea and they're going to go and formalize their business, and they have recognized the importance of opening their account, and they're coming in to open those accounts.
Right, to formalize it.
Because I'm directing them
Oh,
there.
you're sending them.
Because when they come to me with their personal account, I said, listen, this can't work. You're a business owner. You need to open a business account. Because you're more marketable when you have a business account. So I just send them off. I said, listen, I send them to my business bank. I said, go and formalize yourself. And then you put yourself in the position to get a loan
as well
for business growth.
And clients as well, because there are some clients, you give them a personal account, they're saying, but this person is not serious.
Exactly.
You know, and they might do business with you one time, but they might not want to revisit you and continue the business relationship.
I can actually give you a story, Talia. A small, a client of mine, right? So there is this car wash business owner. He's not registered or anything. He doesn't have a business bank account either. So because he's providing this company with this service, right? There are a lot of vehicles to wash, which he earns a lot from this client. And they stopped doing business with him because they said, listen, you need to go and get yourself registered. You need to go and open a business account and come back to it so that you can get revenue from us again. So there are a lot of informal businesses out there that are losing out on potential revenue generation because they fear to formalize their business and open these bank accounts.
As well.
I'd also like to say that when you open an account, a business account with us, and you operate that, we look at how you operate that account. And you can also get pre-approved offers.
Okay.
Unsecured pre-approved offers. So it's important that you open those accounts and you pass all the income through the account.
So let me ask you something, Pam. With this pre-approved, right, approval, does it mean that they still need to get the necessary documents, but...
Yes, are not all of them. There's some that are mandatory, but not all the whole gamut of all the documentation that you need.
And you know, it's interesting that you mentioned that in terms of, you know, getting registered and the importance of it, because there are persons who are fearful for whatever reason. And a lot of persons are afraid to become registered because of taxes. And they are terrified because they just think that once I get in the system, the government is going to hawk me and stalk me, you know, for those taxes. And, you know, that's just an additional expense. That's how some persons look at it as well. And they have a lot of these misconceptions about actually registering your business and paying your taxes and making it work for you, right? So tell us some advice that you would share to someone who might just be fearful to register their business because they're afraid of taxes and taxation.
Most of the time when you're afraid, it's because you don't know, right? And that is the case with most of these business owners. They just don't know, or they hear somebody else say, oh, they have to go, once they register the business, they're going to have to pay a huge sum of tax. But that's not the case, because taxation and calculation of tax goes beyond just calculating taxes on the basic income, which is what a lot of business owners think. But there is other aspect to it, like your expenses, business expense, of course, not personal. That's why it's important to separate business from personal, so that you can deduct these expenses from your income, and what remains is what tax is calculated on. You may or may not make a profit, and if you make a loss, there is no tax on the loss. There are also other credits that are available to business owners that they may not know of, that will reduce their tax liability, and in some cases carry it down to zero, so you end up not paying any taxes at all. So if you don't know, you need to know so that you can make a better decision.
Okay.
So come in to us.
Come in.
Even add to the fact that you don't have to do it on your own. You
That's
have
why
to
I
do
say
it
come
yourself.
into us.
Right.
Come into
So,
us. We're
yeah.
here. Yes,
Yeah, you
Magan
don't have to do
companies.
it.
And once you register with us too, it is a part of the process for us to have a consultation to talk about what your tax obligations are going to be as a registered entity.
Okay. And let me hear some final advice before we close out and we start getting some questions from our viewers. Pamela, let me start with you.
Okay.
You know, speaking on behalf of Scotiabank, tell me, you know, the final advice that you'd like to share to our SMEs watching right now.
I'd like to let our business owners know that a lot of people are depending on you. Your family, your employees, your community. You're actually building a legacy, so you need to protect that legacy. One of the ways you can do that is by insurance, through insurance. Your assets, you need to insure, because disaster can happen at any time. You need to have your insurance in place. As a sole proprietor, you need keyman insurance. That is something that we encourage. You also need to think about you. A lot of business owners make the mistake of putting back everything into the business, and anything can happen.
Right.
So what I encourage our business owners to do is have a retirement, put a retirement plan in place. Do a pension, have a pension plan in place, not just for you, but also for your employees. Because at the end of the day, I can share a story that I've had. There's this client, when I was a credit officer years ago, I remember saying to him, you need to put aside some money for your retirement. At the time, I think it was $10,000. And consistently, he put the $10,000. When he had additional funds, it was in a Scotia Mint, he actually added to it. And years after, I got a call, and he said, I've been trying to find you. And I said, what happened? He said, I was just calling to tell you thanks, because that advice that you gave me years ago, now I'm retired and I'm good.
Wow.
So what you need to do is think about your retirement. I mean, just don't rely on the business, put something aside so that when you retire, you have something to fall back on.
Right.
Yeah.
And to also invest.
Invest,
Investment is
yes,
very
investment,
important.
yes, very important.
You know,
And not just for you as individual, but for the business, put some savings aside, because you might be purchasing an asset down the road and you need to come up with a deposit. So you also need to save some funds for the business. So if you have excess funds, put it in a savings or investment account.
well, I don't know, ladies, would you like to leave any final words of advice to, you know, other SMEs who might just be watching right now?
Well, for sure, for me, it would be ensuring that you have some amount of financial literacy. I mean, you don't have to know everything yourself, but it's good for you to have an appreciation and understanding of what the business requires. And if it is that you are not abreast of that, like accounting and financial management, then you know you're going to get a professional to take care of it for you.
Okay. How about you, Sriko?
There are so many advice that I can give, but in the context of this forum, I would say keep proper records. It's important because ultimately this is what is going to be used to produce a financial statement so that you can get a loan from Scotiabank and also file your taxes.
Okay. All right. I see we have some questions coming in. First up is, what are some of the ways you market and promote your business?
Okay, so we do a lot of Instagram post, Google works. If you have a business, you need to have a Google page because that's how a lot of persons are finding people. They just Google.
Yeah.
So a majority of our potential clients come in through Google.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do Google ads, we do Instagram, Facebook, TikTok too. Yes, we have TikTok page. So those are some of the tools that we use.
So we do a combination of what Sarika just mentioned. So Instagram, but we utilize, outside activations as well. So we do expos and we do a lot of partnership collaborations. So it's digital in terms of social media, website, Google management, but also in the trade, we interact with people. We have strategic partnerships with brands that align with what we're doing. So marketing is a whole umbrella. It's not just, you create a flyer and you put out. It even involves, getting education, which is how the SME program came in for me, as well as the Compass program, the Scotiabank Compass program. So understanding what it is that you need to be able to put forward and putting yourself in the best position, and then you just run with it.
Okay. Another question I have here. Oh, on screen. What do you do to overcome challenges?
Besides praying?
Besides praying.
Whenever faced with a particular challenge, I don't normally react just the same. I love to say, let me sleep on it. And once I have a clear mind, I think about the problem and then probably talk to my staff about it and see, because I don't have one way of dealing with things. When I hear from other person's opinion, then once I can put them together and then make the best decision regarding that challenge.
Okay.
For me, I rely on an advisory board.
Okay.
So depending on what type of challenge or where that challenge it falls within our structure, there is a group of individuals who are not directly involved in Asham Cosmetics, but they have the know-how and the expertise and maybe even some years of experience in whatever industry they are, that would be able to bounce off ideas and probably open up, a solution that I might not have been able to do on myself. So relying on an advisory board and, as Sarika said, not making decisions in the moment. That's something I definitely practice, because you don't want to make a permanent decision based on a temporary feeling.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And Pamela, I think persons would also be concerned about challenges faced within the company when they've come to you. They've sought your advice, they've sought some support from Scotia, and they might be faced with some kind of challenges, whether act of God or otherwise. How can persons feel secure and know that, guess what, they can rely on Scotia, they can come in and talk to you and let you know what is actually happening, and what kind of support do you lend persons at that point in time?
Okay, one thing I've found out over the years is that when some of our clients are having challenges, what they tend to do is hide. They don't want to talk to the bank.
Yeah.
So what I encourage you to do, if you recognize that you're having an issue, you're going to be having a challenge, come in and speak with us. If it's a situation that you need an extension, you can't make the payment this month, we can have that conversation and we can assist you. If this challenge is going to be more long-term, is it a situation that we can refinance, we can rewrite the loan, but at the end of the day, we can't assist if we don't know what is happening. And we are vested in this. We would have given you the loan, we want to ensure that it is repaid. So if you're having a challenge, come and talk to us and let us work it out.
Okay. I know we have a question coming in from a viewer. At Kevin A, how do I get a business account open for a newly registered business?
Okay. Well, you need to come to us. If it's your certificate of incorporation, if it's a company, your articles of association, your TRN, you're going to need your ID, and you come and we have a discussion and we open the account.
Okay.
If it's a sole trader, sole proprietor, you also come in with your business registration and the ID and TRN, and we open it. It's very easy. Right.
Okay. I know we have some other questions coming in as well. At Hawaiian on Zoom, how is it possible to use your credit card without paying interest?
Okay, what you do when you get your statement, there's a payment date. And if you pay the statement balance before the payment date, you don't pay any interest.
As simple as that.
As simple as that.
Just make sure you pay it before the payment date.
Right.
Okay. More questions?
Pay the full balance.
The full balance.
Right.
Okay. Full balance.
Yes.
More questions coming in. Also, how is it possible to use, okay, we just answered that one. How is it possible to use your credit card without paying interest? Okay. What programs can I join as an entrepreneur to gain further knowledge?
Okay, so the Vision Achiever is one, but it's limited to 25 businesses for each cohort. So that is one. And Shanique spoke to it. I mean, you have to be alert when the information is posted. Just make sure you apply, because you never know. You never know. So Scotia Women Initiative, that is also something that you can participate in. And it provides valuable information. As I said, we have workshops. We have had quite a few. And for women, you can also benefit from that.
As well.
Right.
All right. At Zoom, or from Zoom, I should say, what's the benefit of having a credit card with Scotiabank?
Well, it assists in making payments. So you have a subscription to pay. You're traveling, you can get the card, and you're paying your taxes.
And talk about the mileage too.
Yes, so
Yes,
you can get up to 150,000 miles per year, and for your you can get up to 5 cards, and you're able to track the expenses for each of those persons.
Right. So everything is there.
Everything is there. Yes.
And so for the business, you have an opportunity to make payments online.
Yes.
Right? Because it's
using a credit
right,
card.
it's now compatible. So if you are purchasing things or you're sending payments to your suppliers, the card is very useful in that way.
Subscriptions. We do have a lot of subscriptions.
Yes.
As well.
Absolutely.
I know we have another question coming in from Zoom, from Gabby on Zoom. What are the advantages of being a part of the Scotiabank Vision Achievers program?
I'll let the Vision Achievers answer that one.
So, I mean, you can share 2 and Srika can share 2.
Okay, so for me personally, it was a wealth of knowledge. And starting out, at 2 years old is when we started the Vision Achiever program. We were still very new or very young, but we were given so much information, so much tools, and it was for the entire spread of the business, not just sales, it's marketing, it's advertising, it's customer relations, and this is yours forever. They're free and they're very expensive. I should add the value of the class. When I was told the value of the class and the books and resources that we got,
Wow.
I would not have paid that out of pocket, I'm being honest. So to know that Scotiabank has invested this amount of money in my business because they saw the potential in what we are doing, I am forever grateful and indebted to Scotiabank. And that's why I think that's the biggest thing for me, because we can always go back to the book. You're not going to remember everything.
Yeah.
But you can always go back to the book, and it's top of mind when you think about certain things that you've learned in the class and apply to your business. But you can always refer back to the topics that you learned, and it's knowledge that you'll never lose. So it's an asset to the company having this form of information. So I encourage everyone, sign up for the Scotiabank Vision Achiever program.
Okay.
Okay, for me, I can concur with everything that Shanique has said. However, I'd mentioned before when I just started that I was a head cook and backer wash for my business, right? With the Scotia Vision program, Achievers program, it broke down different areas of the business. So the marketing, I was able to learn about marketing so that I could implement that in my business. Systems, which was really, really important for me, go back and implement systems in my business. Customer service, was able to do that as well. So for me, it is learning the areas that I was weak in and go back and apply what I've learned.
Okay. I see we have another question coming in from Zoom. What is required for a less than 1-year-old startup to open a business bank account with Scotiabank?
Less than 1 year.
Yes.
So as you start up, you can open the business.
Okay. So even
To open an account. Yeah, you can open the account.
Okay.
Yes. So I mean, whether you're just starting out, or 10 years,
Yes.
15, you can open an account.
you can open an account and get started with keeping your records and tracking your expenses
Well,
and
I think they asked what are the requirements.
What are the requirements?
yes.
Yeah, but from my experience, they need a cash flow projection, they need a TCC. Of
Okay.
course, you mentioned
Yeah, the cash
about
flow,
the
yeah.
business documents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And it's always good to have a business plan. And at this point, I'd also like to refer our customers, small business customers, to our business customers to our website.
Okay.
We have resources there, our tools and resources tab page. We have a host of useful information if you're starting your business, if you want to expand your business. So I'd encourage persons to actually visit the page and get all that information at their fingertips.
Okay, that's a great way to end our discussion. I don't know, do you have something to share with us quickly before we go, Sarika?
Keep proper records.
Keep proper records.
I can't stress that enough.
Can't stress it enough.
Absolutely, I have problems with business owners. They're just not paying enough attention to that.
Okay.
And I leave it there.
Leave it there.
Yes.
Keep proper records, of course. Check out the website. And yes, of course, check out this. Yes.
Just to what Sharika said, you have to help us to help you.
Okay.
Right.
And one way of doing that is keeping proper records.
Keep proper records, check out the website, and of course, utilize the information that's provided at your fingertips to benefit you and to help you to grow your business. But unfortunately, we've come to the end of our discussion this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that we have, shared some insightful knowledge which will help you to grow your business. So if it is that you have any additional questions, you have any additional concerns, please feel free to drop those questions in our DM on Instagram at Scotiabank Jam, and we'll definitely try to address them as best as possible. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here this evening. Thank you so much to Sarika. Thank you so much, Pamela. And of course, thank you so much to Shanique for sharing your knowledge with us as well. So that's it from us. Please stay tuned to all our, social media pages and of course our websites for lots more information. But that's it from us. Of course, thank you again. Stay tuned. We got lots more in store for you.